Hello again. Like many people, I get sidetracked from time to time in growing angry and resentful about the illegal immigration racket of the so-called asylum seekers. It tends to distract me from the greater problem because the question of the so-called um, the boat people, those coming over in small boats across the channel, is only a small part of immigration to this country. The great majority of immigration is perfectly legal and predicated, of course, upon the need to pay for our ageing population. There are too many pensioners, and the cost of their pensions is so great that they will bankrupt the country unless we import more people who will work and pay taxes so that we can afford all those old age pensions. The recent news that more over 70s in this country are paying income tax than are those under 30 rather puts a dent in this argument, but it's fatally flawed in any case. The young immigrants we bring in will themselves grow old and expect pensions, and how will we be able to afford that? Why, by bringing in even more immigrants to pay for the ones who have grown old. Just like a Ponzi scheme, which relies upon a steady supply of new investors and collapses when nobody else will get involved in it, so too with immigration, solve the problem of the aging population. Not only will it never solve the problem of supporting all those old people, because as I say, the immigrants themselves will grow old, but it will create an ever increasing pressure on housing and the health service. This is before we even talk about the fact that some of those immigrants will end up claiming state benefits and could prove to be a net drain on the public purse. It is so obviously an unsustainable enterprise which cannot fail to fold up eventually that the only real mystery is why nobody seems to draw attention to this publicly. The answer is, I think, that for both the Conservatives and the Labour Party, this scheme is the only show in town. They've both used immigration as a short-term fix, and now they have managed to get our whole economy, health service, and welfare system addicted to it. Breaking this awful habit would, in the short term, be painful. Nobody, no political party wishes to be blamed for the difficulties which would arise in the short term. And so the can continues to be kicked down the road, and the problems continue to pile up for future generations. Problems of far greater gravity than those we currently face. Not only is the present system not a viable financial setup in the long run, for the reasons I've mentioned, it's also likely to cause social tensions which could result eventually in sectarian warfare. Has everybody forgotten the low-level civil war which was waged in Northern Ireland for 30 years or so? The euphemistically named Troubles? Do people really not realise that this was caused by immigration and religious differences? Can nobody see how something of the kind could happen here if immigration, so widespread and extensive as to be a form of quasi-colonisation, continues? I sometimes think that we in this country must be deaf, blind, and stupid not to have learned from history where this kind of thing will inevitably lead in the long run.